Welcome back to These Things Are Written on this Thursday. Where we left off, Paul is in Caesarea. He was being tried by Festus, and when being threatened to be sent to Jerusalem, he appealed directly to Caesar in Rome. And we pick up our story there, verse 13 of Acts 25. Now, when some days had passed, Agrippa the king and Bernice arrived in Caesarea and greeted Festus. And as they stayed there many days, Festus laid Paul's case before the king, saying, "There is a man left prisoner by Felix, and when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priest and the elders of the Jews laid out their case against him, asking for a sentence of condemnation against him. I answered them that it was not the custom of Romans to give up anyone before the accused man met the accusers face to face and had opportunity to make his defense concerning the charges laid against him. So when they came together here, I made no delay. But on the next day, I took my seat on the tribunal and ordered the man to be brought. When the accusers stood up, they brought no charge in his cause of such evil as I supposed. Rather, they had certain points of dispute with him about their own religion and about a certain Jesus, who was dead, but whom Paul asserted to be alive. Being at a loss how to investigate these questions, I asked whether he wanted to go to Jerusalem to be tried there regarding them. But when Paul had appealed to be kept in custody for the decision of the emperor, I ordered him to be held until I could send him to Caesar." Then Agrippa said to Festus, "I would like to hear the man myself." "Tomorrow," he said, "you will hear him." King Agrippa. It's actually King Agrippa II, the son of King Agrippa I, the one that we read about earlier in Acts. Agrippa II was a grandson of Herod the Great, and now he was ruling in the area of Galilee, Lebanon, but he also had rule over the temple of the affairs of the temple. So he had a say in this with the chief priest because in a way Agrippa claimed to be Jewish. So he was their king and could rule over them in that way. Bernice, this part is kind of interesting. By the way, I could do a whole study, hour-long study on Agrippa and the other Herods and their disgusting habits. Bernice was actually Agrippa II's sister. Okay, and many thought was in an incestuous relationship with Bernice. Bernice was after power, and this was one way that she could get power with Agrippa. So they kind of went the places together, again, seeming as an incestuous relationship. In other words, not a very nice guy, kind of like his father and his grandfather before him. Festus was trying to please the Jews, but he had misplayed the situation and ended up having Paul appealing to Rome. Paul's issue was not religious, or was religious. It was not civil. What charge does he write to Caesar? Because Caesar wouldn't be worried about these religious charges. He would only be worried if it was something that he did civilly against Rome, against Caesar himself. At this point, Nero has become emperor. It is early on. He is still trying to secure his place as the emperor because at that point, a lot of cloak and daggers type stuff would happen there. And it was really before his hatred for Christians took hold. And now, as we get to this point, the stage is set for Paul to do what God said he would, to appear before a king, King Agrippa, and to set the stage for him appearing even before Rome and Caesar itself. We will pick this up more tomorrow as we hear Paul's defense and see this whole procession that happens to Paul. Come back tomorrow, and we'll see more of how Paul defends himself. Go in peace.